And now everyone keeps asking whether crypto is actually dead again. But while people on Twitter actually fight over meme coins, governments, banks, and Wall Street, the financial system is quietly being built on blockchain. Now, in the last 24 hours alone, we've got some major moves from the SEC, banks launching stablecoins, Bitcoin struggling through a very key level, and new signs that traditional finance is going all on crypto. So let's actually break down exactly what matters. Now, Bitcoin spent the last day hovering around the mid 70k range after another failed breakout attempt. So traders were hoping for that momentum, but instead the market got hit with more volatility and over $400 million in liquidations. Basically, too many leverage traders got wiped out at once. So currently there is a lot of liquidity still in the upside. There's about 119 million looking in the 24-hour time frame. So yesterday we actually did have a trade for a short position towards that $76,000 liquidity level, and we had about 100 million there. It's pretty much what the price did. It bounced back pretty heavily, and then shortly after, well, after quite a while actually, we did come back down. We did come back down to reclaim that liquidity. So what we were looking at yesterday was actually some heavy bounces from the upside towards the downside. So the move we saw yesterday was this area here. We made a high of 78k. We failed that, and we moved heavily towards the downside. We were making some very nice lower highs, lower lows, up until we saw a rejection. But then we came in and claimed that liquidity at 76.1k. And then from that point on, we're relatively just seeing some heavy consolidation. We made a low of 75,156, which was not so great. So currently, crypto is stuck between two worlds. Retail traders want the next bull run, while institutions are waiting for regulatory clarity before deploying serious capital. So right now we are in a very, very tense situation like we have been in the past, I'd say a week or two now. So that is why every single SEC headline suddenly moved the market. Geopolitics and the whole sentiment is currently a big factor within the markets as well, so keep that in mind too. So as you can see, that liquidity is mainly towards the upside. We do have 105 million toward the downside of 75.2k, but we do have 120 million at 77.6k and 113 million at 77.1k, and then another 100 at 76.5. So there is a lot more liquidity in the upside. So a potential move towards that upside is still up for grabs. Now, speaking of the SEC, one of the biggest stories today is that regulators delayed a proposal that would have allowed tokenized stock trading on crypto platforms. Now, this sounds boring at first, but it's actually pretty big. It's because tokenized stocks are basically Wall Street assets like Apple or Tesla shares that are traded on blockchain networks 24/7. And that is where finance is actually heading. So not just crypto replacing banks, but traditional finance moving into crypto rails as well. And the SEC slowing this down shows regulators still aren't fully comfortable with how fast this industry is evolving. Now, while regulators are actually hesitating, banks are moving anyway. So today, SoFi officially expanded access to its stablecoin, SoFi USD, directly to millions of users inside its app. And this is a massive signal because for years, crypto people said that banks would eventually adopt blockchain technology, and now that is happening in real time. And stablecoins are becoming the bridge between traditional finance and crypto. So if you're new to crypto, stablecoins are basically digital dollars that move instantly on blockchain networks. And this sector is exploding right now because governments are finally building legal frameworks around them. And that brings us to another huge topic today, the Clarity Act and the stablecoin regulation. So in Washington, lawmakers are debating rules that could completely reshape how crypto companies operate in the United States. And this matters way more than daily price action. Because once regulation becomes clear, large institutions can finally move billions into the space without worrying they'll get sued 6 months later. So the real game right now is not hype, not meme coins, it is infrastructure. And globally, this trend is actually accelerating too. So Tether, the company behind USDT, is now working with the government of Georgia to launch a stablecoin initiative. So just think about that for a second. A private crypto company partnering directly with a government to digitalize currency infrastructure. So 5 years ago, that sounded insane. And now it's just another Tuesday in crypto. And meanwhile, there's a huge divide inside the market itself. So companies are doubling down on Bitcoin, others are getting more cautious. So Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, actually paused its Bitcoin buying spree temporarily to strengthen its balance sheet. And that is very, very important because it's basically become the poster child for corporate Bitcoin adoption. So even if they slow down purchases, traders still pay attention. So finally, the biggest theme I'm watching right now is if crypto is slowly becoming less about speculation and more about the financial infrastructure. So stablecoins, tokenized assets, blockchain payments, institutional custody, AI agents using crypto rails. That there is what the industry is moving like right now. The loudest part of crypto is still memes and hype, but underneath all that noise, governments, banks, and billion-dollar companies are slowly building. And now the question isn't really, is crypto dead? The real question is, are we watching the early version of a completely new financial system being built in public? Because whether you realize it or not, that's what these headlines are actually about. Now that is your crypto update for today. Now if you want daily breakdowns to explain what actually matters without the nonsense, then hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And now finally, to wrap things up, that brings us to Evedex. Now Evedex is a platform I've been using actually for many, many months now. And there's huge bonuses, prize pools, and chances to win things like iPhones, AirPods, and Apple Watches. So the link for that will be in the description below, so make sure you check that out. Now as always, hit that like button, will be greatly, greatly appreciated, and I'll see you all in the next one.